everyone, welcome. My name is Jessie, and today we're going to be doing our roll and release. So we're going to need a foam roller, and I would grab one that is nice and long so we can roll on it, get some shoulder and mid-back release, but whatever you have will do. And then either grab a yoga strap or a scarf for a little bit more stretching. So our purpose today is to use our roller across some of the muscles that tend to tighten up through our exercise program and just through our everyday activities, and then take a few moments after we've released some of those muscles to stretch. And you might find those stretches are a little more fruitful once we have taken the time to release those muscles. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to take our roller lengthways on our mat, and we're going to sit at the end. Now, if you're quite tall or have a long torso like I do, make sure you're sitting all the way at the end so your head can be well supported. So you're going to take your spine all the way down the roller. And again, let your head relax. If you feel slightly off balance, again, separate your feet. You can always knock your knees together as well. And we'll just take a few moments here just to check into our breath. Breath is so important for everything, but especially for our rolling practice. Because again, there might be some points where there's a little tension, maybe even a little discomfort. And I just encourage you to breathe through that. Take breaks when you need. And here, as we start to find our pace of breath, inhale in through the nose, and then exhale, just let all that stale air escape through the mouth. Inhale, pulling fresh air, fresh intention, and then exhale, just let it go. You can stay with that inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth, or you can start to seal your lips closed and breathe in and out through the nose. Now you might start to notice already that the chest is expanding. So I have my elbows gently bent and they're resting against the floor. Maybe yours are all the way into the floor or slightly hovering. We feel our scapula gently wrapping around the roller. And we'll likely notice a little space here, a little natural arch to the back, as the sacrum, the base of the spine, is heavy. And this is just a great place you can stay anytime if you've been on the computer a few more times than usual, maybe working on your phone, or even just doing a whole lot of push-ups and plank. This is helpful to reinvigorate that mid-back and open through the chest. Let's start to move. So we'll take an inhale, stay. As you exhale, you're gonna hug a tree, and then you're gonna open out. Good. Now, you might feel a little bumpiness as the scapula kind of wrap around the roller. This is where I tend to carry a lot of tension into that mid-upper back. So go slowly. As you inhale, maybe again your elbows drop, and maybe the arms go a little wider and the elbows hover. Keep your chin gently tipped and just starting to feel the scapula wrap around, feeling that chest expand on your inhale here, and then feeling those middle back muscles start to release. Let's do one more time. On either side, just feel that stretch, maybe more on one side than the other, and then come right back up. Good, so now your arms are up, and we're gonna go into some arm scissors. So if your shoulder is a little grumpy, tread lightly. Maybe you're gonna reach all the way overhead, and maybe you're not. So go to the point where you feel that edge of tension. Again, inhale, and then exhale as your limbs are the furthest point apart. Good. If you're taking care of your shoulders, turn your thumbs to face upward and your palms to face inward, so your shoulder's a little more neutral. And this is a good one to check in and see. Maybe we're carrying a little more tension on one side than the other. Keeping the neck long. Exhale to stretch. Inhale as you switch. Beautiful. Let's do one more time through each place. Again, if you need to change your foot placement, please do so. If you need to take a break, take one. Let's return back up here. Again, shoulders pull down. Let's move to some arm circles. You're gonna inhale overhead and then exhale, pull around. So again, you might feel that release in your middle back into the trapezius, maybe even some of the rhomboids and deltoids. And again, we're just mobilizing the shoulder. Don't go any further than comfortable. You can go up here and circle around. Inhale, and then exhale, pull your arms down. Again, keeping that neutral, natural curve of your low back. Keeping that gentle tip of your chin, feel the length of your neck. One more time. Good. Now, one more time, just let your arms kind of open out. And take 3 deep breaths in. Inhale. Exhale, let the scapula melt around the roller, chest open. Inhale, pull in that fresh air. And then exhale, sink. One more deep breath in through the nose, out through nose or mouth. And now, there's no real graceful way to do this. Let's roll off our roller, make sure it doesn't roll away too far, and we'll keep our feet about mat width, shoulder width. Knock the knees together and let's get a little sway, a little windshield wiper here. You can let your head go in opposition, or you can just keep your head still as you just release your back. And notice now your upper back. Maybe you notice the scapula more able to melt into the floor. Maybe you want to bend your elbows to goalposts to feel even a little bit more opening. Good, let's finish the one we're on. And then we're gonna hug the knees into the chest. Inhale, exhale, rock ourselves up. Let's come on to all fours. So as we're on all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, reach your chest. And then exhale, round through your back. Inhale, open, and then exhale, curl through your spine. So now kind of releasing where we just put a little pressure. And that's our goal today, is get some release with the roller and then just get some relaxation of those muscles. Sometimes it'll be static stretches or more movement oriented. Excellent. Let's come back into a rounded shell stretch. Roll through your back. Reach your arms in opposition to your toes. Soften your shoulders and curl your low back. One more inhale and one more exhale. Good. Let's roll up. Let's grab our roller now, and we're going to take it in front of us. We're going to start rolling out through the quads. So take your roller in front of you. Make sure you have plenty of room in front of you, a nice soft space. This is where your living room carpet comes in handy. And we're going to come down onto the forearms and just start to walk our way forward. And again, as we're doing this, we're going to take a few pass-throughs all the way through the muscle. Now, a good time to mention, we don't want to roll through bones or joints. So you want to stay in that soft tissue, muscle, fascia, connective tissue. So you're rolling all the way down to just above your knee and then to just above your hips, and just notice what you feel. Maybe you feel a lot of pressure and you're thinking, I don't like the way this feels. And if it ever becomes uncomfortable, you take a break. Again, we're just exploring the body, and I will tell you, the more times you do this, the less you're going to feel that abject pressure that you might be feeling right now. Other things to think about, taking care of your shoulders. If being on your elbows doesn't work, you can change being up on your hands. You can take breaks. Good, lots of options. Let's do one more time, full pass through. And now, once we've done that full pass through, we're going to visit a spot that's tight. So I want you to find somewhere along that range where you feel like there was a lot of tightness. Now, your first option is to just hold here, to breathe deeply, to pull that inhale in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Now, your second option is to stay in a very small range. Again, some light connection of your core, head in line with the spine, as you just move up and back an inch or two on that spot of tension. Now, your third option, you can play with levers. You can bend one knee, put a little more pressure into that spot of tension, or you can play with bending both. Now, I'm not saying you have to be at all of these three options. Just choose a place. And maybe let's visit one more spot of tension. Let's maybe move on to the next one. And along each spot in your body, you might want to visit 2 or 3 places where you're feeling tension. And that's going to be different every day. Rolling as a practice, just like our yoga practice, our Pilates practice. Good. So again, if this is really a lot of tension, you take a break, you come back to that rounded child's pose, or you hold still and you breathe. Let's all take just a couple more breaths. Inhale through the nose, sigh it out through mouth or nose. And we'll come off. Good. Now we're going to go into the lateral part of the quad. So this one's a little harder to set up. We're going to have our roller perpendicular to the body. And again, you'll probably want to start at the edge of your workspace. You have some room to move. Let's take one knee out on that diagonal. So it's just resting on the roller. What that's going to do is put you on the outer edge of your quad. So your vastus lateralis. Now start to walk yourself up. Now again, you can come up onto your hands if that does not work to stay on your elbows and vice versa. And you might want to change. Now this one, you can go all the way up into that hip flexor crease right here, and then go all the way down to just above the knee. So again, we often carry some tension right in that hip flexor crease. Oh, so don't rush it. Breathe through it. Take a few pass-throughs, the whole range, maybe 3 to 5 times at your own pace. And then like we did on the first spot, you're gonna find a spot or 3 that requires a little more attention. And remember, the first option is just to stay there and just kind of melt. Next option is to roll up and back a little bit. Good, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Try to take the tension away from your upper body. There's enough tension in that lower body right now. And continue to breathe. Full inhales. And again, once you have spent a little time there, you can move on to a second spot or even a third spot. And you're probably not going to, in 25 or 30 minutes, have enough time to visit every place that is tight. But as you start getting more into your rolling practice, even just a few moments, a few times a week, you can decide to focus on those spots that perennially are a little tighter. Good, let's come on off and let's move to side 2. So I'm just going to turn around. You can stay where you are. And as we move into that side 2, again, you're going to take that knee at an angle, and so you have that other leg this time on that vastus lateralis, lateral part of the quad. And then we go all the way up, and then all the way back. And again, we can go right into that hip flexor crease, especially if you're a runner or cyclist. We tend to carry quite a lot of tension there. Good, breathe through this, keeping that head in line with the spine. And again, light connection of your abdominals. So you're protecting your low back, and it's always fine to take a wrist break, to take a shoulder break or low back stretch. Good. And then once you've done 3 to 5 times, you're gonna again find a spot that you wanna hang out. And then you're just gonna move up and back a few times. Maybe just that inch or 2 inches of range, or remember, you can stay and just let your body weight sink into this. So remember, we're on the outer part of the quad. So a lot of times people kind of blame the IT band for a lot of tightness. And it's actually muscle that might be causing some of the tightness too. Good, let's maybe visit a second spot. And again, you might visit a spot that causes you to take a break, and that is fine. Good, nothing wrong with that. Maybe close your eyes, try to soften your face as you keep the breath moving through the body. So 2 or 3 spots, moving up and back an inch or 2, or perhaps just holding steady. Let's take one more inhale, one more exhale, and then go ahead and come on off. Shove your roller out of the way for now, your leg gladly. And now we're gonna come into prone, and we're gonna stretch through that quad that we just rolled out. So go ahead and bend one elbow, forehead down, bend your other knee, and reach back to or towards your ankle. You don't have to grab it. You can point or flex your foot. So you can stay right here, tip your hips down. And so now we're getting that length from hip to knee. And you might find that having rolled out these muscles, we can get a little deeper into the stretch. Soften your shoulders, and again, both hip bones tip down. Feel that beautiful length. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Then go ahead and release. Bending your other elbow, bending your other knee, and again, you can reach to or towards it. You can just let your upper body relax. Make a pillow for your forehead. You can also turn your cheek to the side as you feel your hips power into the ground, pressing pelvis into the floor. Just feel that stretch. Maybe noticing the left and right feel quite different That is quite common. Taking one more inhale and one more exhale. Go ahead and release. Push yourself back, round through your spine, and then inhale, reach, and exhale, round. A couple of times, just snake and roll. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, roll. 1 more time. Excellent. All right, let's go into some of the outer part of our hips. So now we're going into our IT band. It's where we carry a lot of tension, but that's what everyone always wants to do when we do roller. So I am going to, again, invite you to have a lot of room in front of you. And I'm going to invite you to not roll all your body weight on this. So you, of course, if you want, you can stack both feet like this. Otherwise, you can take one leg in front as you come on down, either onto your elbow or your hand. And what I'm doing with this other foot is kind of guiding myself down the mat, but also taking some weight off the roller. So if you do this all the time, or if you're just thinking you want a little bit of extra pressure, you can always stack both feet. Otherwise, right here. Now I'm going to suggest that you roll slightly behind your IT band. So you're not directly on your side. If you're kind of watching me, I'm kind of leaning back a little bit there. And the reason is, we know that when we roll directly on the IT band, it's not as effective as when we also involve some of those muscles around the IT band that also hold tightness. So again, rolling a few times, maybe 4, 5 times, full range. And then find a space of tension and just move up an inch and back an inch. Now think about your shoulder here, lengthen your neck. So I know people always say, wow, my upper body is sore after rolling from holding myself up so long. If that's you, please take a break. Good, maybe visit that 2nd or 3rd spot. And again, maybe try having both feet on top and just breathe into this, let your body sink. Excellent. Now we do have another side, and usually with the IT band area, one side is your less fun side, I shall say. Good. All right, let's come over to our other side. I'm hoping it is your more fun side as you get ready to set yourself up. And as you do, again, I invite you to bend your top leg and kind of use that as a little bit of leverage. And you're just going to take yourself full range. Now, I'm using a mat just because it is colorful and I think it's easier to see what I'm doing when I'm on the mat. But you may actually just want to do this right on carpet. It might roll a little bit easier. That is entirely up to you. Play around with it. And I will mention that a lot of times people get overwhelmed when we do like a 25 or 30 minute rolling class or video. And they say, I just don't have time to do that all the time. Pick a couple of things. Do it 5 minutes, a few times a week. You might not need to address everything. Once you've done this a few times full range, stay small. It's more important to be consistent and just really hit those areas where you're carrying tightness. And this is a big one for a lot of people. Good. So if you're feeling that, you are not alone. And then maybe move on to a 2nd or a 3rd space. Breathe, keeping the shoulders relaxed, the neck relaxed. Maybe you're clenching the jaw as well, so just watch for that. Just unclench the jaw, keep your face nice and soft. Beautiful. Good, let's go ahead and come on off. Let's do one more area for kind of the outer part of your hip. So you're going to go ahead and have a seat on the roller. Now remember, the roller does roll, so don't let it roll too far. And you're just going to kind of rock back and forth between your tailbone and your sacrum. Find the soft, fleshy part, and you're going to walk your feet together. You're going to rock your knees over to one side. And then you're just going to move up and down. Now I also like to take my hand across there as I'm laying into that side. And you're just moving up and back. Little movement. If you want to work a little bit deeper, take that bottom leg and cross it over. So see how my foot is crossed right over, and I'm kind of leaning away from you. I'm leaning towards that bent knee. And sometimes you have to come a little bit lower, maybe lean a little more in that direction. This is a very small little space, but carries a lot of tension. Outer part of the hip. Beautiful. And let's just maybe take 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose and sigh it out. Again, be mindful of your wrists and your shoulders. And then we'll come back to center again. Find that soft, fleshy part between tailbone and sacrum. And then let your knees come over to your side. You might want to take that hand across to lean that way. Good. And you might want to stay here. This might be all you need to do. Or you can take that leg, cross it over, and just lean into it. Good. Now again, this time I'm leaning towards you. I know it's hard to see where my knee is. It's out to the side, or it's right here. Good. It's up to you. Let's just maybe take a couple more breaths here. Enjoy it. Good. Nice work. And one more inhale. One more exhale, and then go ahead and come on down. Go ahead and release this. Let's grab our little strap, and I'm going to have you take your left ball of the foot into it and come into that nice hamstring stretch. We're going to go right into the outer hip stretch. So you're reaching up into your strap, heel towards the ceiling, and then take both ends in your right hand. Now try to keep your leg nice and straight, just like you set it up on the hamstring, and then you're going to trace it across. Let your opposite shoulder blades stay down. Maybe turn your head in opposition. Draw your shoulder blades down and into the carpet, into the mat. Now again, to really stretch a little more into that IT band, we'll keep our legs straight, so don't worry so much about how far we're going here. That's it. One more inhale and one more exhale. Come back to center. Go ahead and switch that up. Taking that right ball of the foot into that strap or that scarf. Other leg is long. Reach your heel up and set that intention of that nice long leg. Take both ends into the left and drape that across. Open through your chest, maybe looking away as you prioritize a nice long leg. And don't worry so much about how far we're going. Just go to your edge. Let's take 2 breaths here. Beautiful. And then we'll come back up and go ahead and release this off to the side. Good. Now, since we're on our back, let's grab our roller and release a little bit more of the upper back. We'll give our legs a little break. So you're going to just take your roller to the bottom of the scapula. Bend your knees, be nice and supportive here, and just take your hands nice and wide. You're going to inhale over and then exhale. So similar to what we did the first few moments, it's a nice expansion one. And again, if you're very tight in your mid-back, you might feel some pressure as you're rolling back over this. That's okay. Now do be careful of your neck. Hold that orange without crushing it. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl one more time. And then holding there, lift your hips. And you're just going to move up and back. Now you're just going from right at the shoulder to just the bottom of the rib cage. Now we'll start with our elbows nice and wide, fingers lightly cushioning the head. Now once you've done that a few times, here's your option. You're going to bring the points of your elbows together. And what that does is expose the border of the scapula so you can get a little more into some of those mid-back muscles. Now do a few times full range. And then maybe go side to side, kind of like that figure 8 pattern. Maybe get into some of those spaces right at the scapula. Good. And then come back to center, drop your hips. Take a beautiful expansion. Inhale, then exhale, nod your chin, roll yourself up. And let's take a spine stretch forward. So you're going to start to walk your way down. Now try to think of rounding through the back. You're going to soften your shoulders, but you're curling through your spine, rolling here. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And then round a little more. Keep your hip bones grounded. And then inhale, stack your back, and roll yourself back up. Excellent. Good. Let's flip ourselves over. We just have a couple more spots left to hit. And one's going to be our inner thigh. Now this is a hard one to hit and always looks a little funny. So we're going to start to one end of our mat. So I'm backing myself up. And I'm going to take the roller parallel with my body. As I do that, I'm going to take the roller as close to my knee as I can without it being on the joint. And then just kind of rolling forward right against the inner thigh. So again, you want to stay in that soft tissue, that's the name of the game, as we're moving from that knee towards the hip. Just like most of these places, you can take a few pass-throughs, full range, and then if you want to kind of lay in a certain spot or take a couple of small ranges, you can. This is kind of a bigger range like some of the other spots in our legs were. So maybe once you've done 4 or 5 full times through, you visit 2 or so spots, or just kind of hang here, let your body weight sink. And again, think of your shoulders, draw them down. Good, think about your wrists and your shoulders. Just take breaks when you need or change your body posture. Good, let's maybe visit one more spot. Take a couple more breaths. This inner thigh adductor release. And we'll move to the other side. So I'm just going to turn around. You can stay as you are. And then again, you'll take that roller parallel to the body. Take it pretty close to your knee. And then just kind of start to roll in. Yes, very nice. And as you do that, just kind of let your body lay against the roller. You're really absorbing your body weight into the roller. That's really our tension mechanism here. And then once you've done a few times full range, you can of course just kind of stay and just maybe lay across that. And part of our rolling practice, just like our yoga practice, is just to be an observer, to notice where we're feeling tension. Was the IT band roll really tough? Maybe you're feeling some tension in the inner thighs. Or maybe that release of your back felt really good. So just notice these things so you can decide where to focus your attention. Maybe focus on one additional spot. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead, move this out of the way, and you can just flip yourself onto your back and bring the soles of the feet together. Get that inner thigh release. So now that we rolled out those inner thighs, let's reward ourselves with just a little release. Your upper body, again, could be up or down. We can use those elbows against the inner thighs. Just create some dynamic tension as we feel the sacrum heavy. Good. Take a few more breaths and just inhale in all that fresh air, fresh intention. Exhaling away anything we don't need right now. Just force it away. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and come on up our last little bit. Commandeer your roller and take it behind you. And you're going to take this right at the crease of your neck. Now again, you can bend your knees like we started. You can knock your knees together. So you're right there at the crease of your neck. And again, I would suggest holding on to the ends. So I'm holding my mic, but you have one hand here, your other hand the other way. Just kind of turn your head one way and then the other. So again, just get that tension right there in the neck. So common. Sometimes if we're clenching the jaw, if it's been a week where we've had a lot going on, sometimes we carry tension in the body. We don't even realize it until we go to release. And then we feel kind of that stickiness, that resistance. Good. Now if you want to try a second spot, again, hold on to the ends of the rollers. Bring that up a little higher, and you're just kind of rolling across the base of the skull. So this is just above your neck crease here. And do that one more time each side. And then releasing that roller, just let your head drop down. Just hang out for a moment. You can stay with the knees bent. You can let the legs go long, let your arms open, and just bring your mind to your breath. And And as you breathe, just take note of how the body feels. Take note of areas that might still have a little bit of tension. Take note of areas that feel a little more relaxed. Take note of areas that just melt into the floor. And let's take 3 deep breaths in together. Inhale, exhale, just let it go. 2 more breaths. Full inhale through the nose. Full exhale through nose or mouth. 1 more deep breath in. And let it go. And then we'll just bend our knees. And as we did before, knock the knees together. Just give you a few windshield wipers. Get one last little release of your low back. Feel your chest stay open, expanding the heart. And then hug your knees in. Maybe take a couple rolls. And then what we do one way, we'll do the other way. And then we'll nod the chin, rock yourself up. Take a little spine stretch forward. Relax your shoulders. You've been here before. Maybe again, rock and roll side to side, right and left. Find evenness between your sitting bones. Take 1 more inhale. And let it go. As you roll yourself up, sweep your legs around to the side and have a seat. You can have a seat kneeling or cross-legged, whatever works for you. Let's draw those shoulders down. You can either have your palms downward, facing upward to receive energy, or you can bring your hands to heart center. Gently bow your head, releasing the neck, softening the shoulders away from your ears, keeping the mind with the breath. And as you keep your mind with your breath here, just take this moment to remind ourselves that whatever happens this day or any other, the calm that we feel right now is within us always. May we always be able to find it. And we'll end our practice today with 1 more inhale. And then just exhale it all away. Excellent work today. Thanks so much for joining me for Roll and Release. And we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, and please take care.